we are winning. Did I see it? Yeah. Hey.
You talked a lot about African and European music. Have you ever been influenced by any other type?
Yeah. I mean, okay. So Indian music, for example, there's much to be learned from Indian music. One of the main things is they might take 25 minutes to change from the first chord to a different chord. The sections are really stretched out. This is really heavy because in European music, like in my music, for example, I have a tendency to change chords sometimes, um, and quite often. So when you listen to Indian music, we understand a different kind of shape to a phrase where actually things happen. You get a sound world, and actually they're often microtonal, which is heavy, and the mode that they're in, it builds and it builds, and he introduces each note in the mode separately over a period of maybe half an hour. And when the next session arrives, when the next section arrives, it's like a massive deal because you've been in this environment, and then you change environment, and it's crazy. And that is one of the things that I've been checking out a lot with regard to music from other places. Indian music is just incredible. There's an incredible patience involved, and you really understand what it means to be gratified when the section changes. We live in this like world where everyone needs to be gratified straight away. There's like the threshold is so low or high, I don't know, high. Yeah. In order for something to stimulate us, it has to be really strange or weird, like all the internet videos that have gone viral are like 7-second videos of like stupid cats or something, and that's like the top because it's short, so you don't have to be engaged for a long period of time, and it's funny. Like there's no hidden meaning. It's just like what you get straight away. I think this is very much damaging the minds of our generation, maybe. So Indian music advocates patience, and so the thing evolves and then it changes, and it's just like astronomical when it does so because you've reached a point. You've really and I think this is something that's missing from a lot of music from our society nowadays. The idea of the drop, for example, like maybe like 45 seconds in, you're already dropped. And it just kind of sucks a little bit, even though it's great and I love it. But yeah, I probably cite that as one of my main things to think about, just patience in music. Yeah, yeah. Um, there's a video on the internet, YouTube.com. Um, but basically, I'm building this solo live show, um, and it's crazy and it's exciting, and I'm going to meet with this guy from MIT tomorrow to start building a machine. It's like building a rocket or something to kind of get all these instruments in a big circle to unite and make a sound together. And it's really exciting and crazy. One of the other things I want to do in my live show is to get a band, and so I'll get these two different mediums going on all at once. As you asked, here's something. This is super rough. This is like the first time we ran it through. Um, with my two buds. It's just a tune I wrote for my college recital. Just incidentally, the meter here is changing from 4 divisions to 6 divisions. You're sort of going like, I wish I had a louder foot stamp. And this works in 5 divisions as well. Check it out. And it works in 6 divisions, but it starts in like 4. So it goes. And that, which is it's really fun. It's just a funny thing. But so these guys are my pals. We wrote this tune. That's a lot of what he does there. It's great. Um, yeah, I mean, like, I think what I can say is more to come, as far as that's concerned, because I'm making an album, which is cool. Yeah, yeah. Thanks a lot. So hopefully, yeah, this year is crazy for me because I'm still at college, even though I'm not there that much at the moment, just because I'm doing other things. And then I'm making an album. I'm inventing a live show which can do crazy shit that's not currently possible, like quantize grooves in 5 divisions with weird grids and tune chords properly. And so, yeah, I'm building this whole big thing, which is exciting. And then I'm graduating from college early, maybe. And in addition to that, I am trying to just be 20 years old because that's fun, and I'm trying to get some sleep and practice as well. It's kind of a crazy year, but one of the other things I'm doing is starting a band, and I've got some guys, and we're going to do it. And another thing I want to do is to get some bunch of singers together and sing with them, and we can sing things that I arrange, and we can sing some like William Byrd. Who's checked out William Byrd? Yeah, boy, that's heavy stuff, man. William Byrd is from many hundreds of years ago. He's a choral composer, very inspiring. And so, yeah, that's one thing I want to try and do. In my ideal world, it'll be a band that can also sing. It's kind of, it seems unlikely at the moment, but I've got to see who comes my way. But yeah, so that is music with other people, and there's more to come. Yes.
Question for you, more related to technology. So we started with, so jazz, went to rock, we went to hip hop, and going into technology a lot. And you integrate technology a lot in what you do, like videos and everything. Where do you think we're going with the technology, like musically? What do you think?
Good question. Okay, so I think right now, you can disagree with me if you like, but music is colliding everywhere in the world. Things from different places are joining together. So we have collaborations with musicians from every continent, every different style, every different time period. People are sampling older shit and using it in their current music. They are quoting things, they're learning from stuff. This is not really talking about pop music, like general music outside of that, but if we embrace this thing, there's a lot that's possible. It's like a great big basket of music in the world, and you just need to like delve in and take some stuff out. Technology means we can discover music like this way more easily because it's all at our fingertips. YouTube is so cool. I mean, it's such an amazing resource. You should all use it more. I guess you probably do already, but otherwise you wouldn't be here. But yeah, you should check it out because there's some amazing stuff. If you do some research, loads of joy to be found on YouTube, in other places too. Then so there's the whole discovery thing. Then there's the collaboration thing. We can collaborate with people. I'm making an album at the moment with a trumpet player called Dominic Farinacci. The band is crazy. It's Christian McBride, Steve Gadd, and Larry Goldings. Yeah. So I've just spent like a couple of days with them in Cleveland, and I'm going to be making a couple of tracks for the album at home, and then I can send it over to them. That's crazy. That could not have been done even 10 years ago in the same kind of way, where it's literally like an hour and it's uploaded, and it's amazing. So that's really amazing with technology to be able to do that. As far as making music with technology is concerned, I'm having a bit of a kind of interesting time at the moment because in order to combine all the instruments in my music room, or some of them, for a live show, I kind of need technology. I need looping machines, I need sound manipulation devices, I need cameras maybe, a whole bunch of stuff, which actually can be very easily removed from actual music, like real life music making. It's crucial to play with other musicians, it's crucial to play on your own. Technology just enables a whole bunch of stuff to happen in a really amazing way when we get engaged in this. Like people like, for example, Evan, who is in a vocal group called Accent. These guys are from 5 continents, and they collaborate so easily nowadays because you can just send the files to one place, and it's just amazing. That's crazy cool, and we should embrace technology, absolutely. We should also aim to be aware of it. Every single night at my house, everyone in my family turns off every mobile phone and the internet gets unplugged, and we go to sleep properly. I'd really advocate that as well. People have their phones on next to their beds. I find that insane, outlandish, crazy, unreliable. It's just not good in general. When you stop, if you have time to come off your life, then it does you good. It's like being recharged. So technology, it also is addictive, and it grabs you. And I'm as much a victim as anyone else to the lulls of procrastination and various other things that the technology has to offer. That is interesting. But we need to think of it as something that's incredibly powerful, really beautiful, dangerous, engaging. I think we should go for it. Just be aware that it's kind of not real. You know, when I press go on the video, and then suddenly there's you guys in a room listening to me. It's very, very surreal for me because I get out of my bedroom, walk downstairs, maybe go into the kitchen, get like a glass of, you know, something nice, and go back into the music room, which is in here, and I go and sit, and I just make the stuff in there. And I come up 2 weeks later, and then suddenly it goes like this. Insane. Very, very gratifying, amazing. You can't take yourself too seriously with it, though, because otherwise you go crazy. But technology, I think, to sum up, is powerful and dangerous and beautiful. I think that's kind of cool. Yeah.
How long time does it take for you to write the arrangement and do the recording process later?
Good question. All right, so Fascinating Rhythm, I was on holiday in Cornwall, which is in England, and I got back on August the 2nd, which is my birthday, and I spent the next 10 days arranging, recording, videoing, editing, syncing, publishing that video. So that took me 10 days in total. I had preconceptions in mind. It does take a while. I work in quite a concentrated manner where I sort of sit in one world and just am immersed in it for a long, long time. I'm not very good at touching on it and coming out and doing something else, going back in. I just sort of, when I'm in, I'm in. And yeah, kind of. I mean, recently I've really gotten into improvising harmony. Let me play you something I made. This is like what you do is, hey, cool, that's fine. All right, this is the last thing I'm going to play you. I improvised a melody, I wrote a couple of lyrics, and then I just improvised some harmony underneath it. This is an interesting exercise because you're not writing things down, you're just hearing stuff and following it through and recording it. So this is something I did in that format. My heart so full, my head so spent. There you go. So, you know, that's thanks. That's an interesting way of doing it because obviously for most of my arrangements I've written things out on Sibelius most of the time in nearly full format. I mean, when you come to record things, you'll find things that work better. Inevitably, you can't hold on to your ideas with too much pride because you have to allow things to change. There's a bit in Fascinating Rhythm where it goes, and I know that once it didn't matter in the backings, and I didn't write that down. That just sort of occurred to me. That's an example where things just pop into your mind, and you should take them when they do. But most of the time, yeah, I'll finish some kind of arrangement on Sibelius. Then you get it ready and you sing it, and I do the bass first, and you work your way up to the top. But things will definitely change, you know, throughout the whole process. Okay, I can take maybe like 3 more questions, and then we gotta roll up. Yes.
How did you acquire your vast knowledge of music, man? You're kind of ridiculous. You know everything.
Oh wow, thanks. You know, I listen to 2 albums every day, like 2 whole records every day. I travel to college, 40 minutes in and 40 minutes out, and every journey I do a whole record. I'm thirsty, so I just seek out some stuff, and people recommend stuff, so I go down that road. I do whole discographies, like I did the whole of the Beatles last month, insane. I did the whole of Joni Mitchell, insane. Did the whole of Radiohead, pretty damn good, man. I mean, if you follow things through, it's exciting. I mean, in our generation, people don't tend to listen to records. Even whole songs is a bit too much. You know, people just so distracted. But it really does you good to focus on one thing for a while. And I just love music. So you check out a bunch of, you know, the Moroccan stuff, which kind of links to the hip hop stuff in some ways with the grids changing, and you find these links in the world just by getting a whole bunch of things. I mean, people, you know, I went on the Rolling Stones 500 greatest albums of all time internet page, and I sought out a couple of those to kind of cover the thing. I'm hoping by the time I leave college, I would have got most of the last 50 years kind of mapped out, you know, and that obviously draws from the whole of eternity before it. But you know, I just think listen to as much as you can. Use YouTube, buy albums, because that's heavy to do that. That's really nice. and just if you can, just get as much, because what it does is it plants things in your peripheral vision, and when you're creating, they just occur to you. You think, oh, what's this? And then later you find, oh, that sounds like that weird thing I found from so and so land. And it's nice because things just come. They flow easier. The more music you listen to, the more food you've eaten. Therefore, the more nourished you are. So listen to music, I would say. Yeah.
With all the success that you've had, I think it might be fair to say like people kind of expect something from you, and like I don't know if this is true, but maybe you feel kind of like everybody wants something from you. Like it's kind of like too much. I mean, maybe not, but I guess at this point it's like, well, you put out all this stuff so people have seen it. So if you're doing like a live performance, or even if you're just working on something new, it's like maybe it's in the back of your mind like, oh well, it better be good because because people expect this of you and people want something.
That's a great question.
And also like, I mean, the worst way to go into a creative mode is to say like, I need to make this good. Really. So I guess my question is like, how do you get to that space where you're kind of connected to everything and you can kind of like, do you meditate at all, or do you like drink a bunch of whiskey, or what do you do?
Nice, good man. Okay, so yeah, that's a fantastic question. There's a particular space of mind in which it's impossible to be creative, and that's the one where you're writing for other people's opinions. You know, oh man, I hope, you know, I want this girl to dig this video, man. I really want her to see it. You know, I've got to make it really hip and really good. I really want to get, you know, if I visualize my audience, which is kind of becoming vaster, it's kind of crazy. You're paralyzed. You can't do anything. You have to let that go. One of the main things, I'd recommend reading a book called The Inner Game of Tennis. Has anyone read this book? Oh, it's amazing. It's a book about learning and teaching, and the idea is that you really can let go of judgment, and that is from other people and also of yourself, because you judge yourself all the time, and it's kind of destructive to the process of creating. So that's important to bear in mind, that you need to put judgment to one side, do the stuff. Once you put things on paper and you don't like them, instead of saying I don't like that and therefore I don't like me, you just say I don't like that, and instead of saying that's bad, you just say that's what it is and I'm going to change it. You know, it's that there's a negative and a positive way of looking at things being corrected and things being built. It's important to be aware and to try and inhabit the one which is constructive as opposed to destructive, where you kind of become emotionally engaged in every decision you make, because things will absolutely have to change. Things will have to be, you know, shifted around. You add some stuff in, and then you spend 2 days getting it together, and then 2 days later you realize you don't want to use anything. If you attach your emotions to that and then you get rid of it, then you've got rid of your emotion. That hurts. So the idea is to not be too proud, I think, is about your creations. I mean, I put a lot of love into this stuff, you know, a lot of time and love, because it needs it to be fed properly. And then obviously people reach back, and I mean, most people I've encountered seem to be really positive about it, which is lovely. And obviously some people say like, oh, I don't dig it at all, and that's also cool. And I think if you invest your emotions in the people that speak with you, then you're just in danger of being like unanchored, if that's the right word, and just sort of like zoomed around. And it's important to put your anchor down in a place which is even, you know, it's not to do with me as a musician. It's not even to do with me in my life. It's just to do with me being human and alive, and that's like enough. And that needs to be the anchor, as opposed to I have an anchor that people think I'm good, or I have an anchor that I have a solid income, or I have a family or something. Like the best anchor is one which goes behind everything that is a part of you and just is you. You know, so then the things that you do creatively or in the world or in life, they don't rock the thing. It's blooming hard, you know. But just try next time you think about this kind of thing, just try and put judgment to one side and just do the thing in a kind of selfless way, not thinking that you want to gain. Because if you set out wanting to gain things, then you can't necessarily gain them, and it goes against the thing. But if you just sort of start creating in a way which is just more open-minded, and you're kind of listening all the time, and you accept people's criticisms and don't get too proud about it, but then invest a lot of emotional love as opposed to just kind of energy. It's really difficult, but
So what do you do if you like catch a bad thought, or like you see, like you read these comments on YouTube, people are gonna say horrible things because they can say anything.
Yeah.
So what do you do, like, if, I guess, like, emotionally, spiritually, like, what do you do if you have bad thoughts that come and say, like, well, I'm no good, like, what do you tell yourself, or how do you deal with it?
Great questions. Well, I think it's important to get that together. I think my well-being, my mental well-being, doesn't stem from people's compliments. It just doesn't. It stems from just being alive. And so it takes a while to come to that conclusion and to try and get And I'm not saying that's where I'm at. It's like I haven't reached that peak yet, but that's kind of what I'm aiming for, because people will always pull you around in different places. You know, when I read it, if I read a comment which is like, dude, there's one guy commented. Actually, I think you'll like this, because he said, I'm an arranger myself, and I really wouldn't recommend putting 2 notes next to each other. Like, just don't do that, because it sounds bad. Like, you should always space them out by like an octave or something. And this is the kind of hilarity that you get. And if you detach yourself from the comments and just read them, it's just wonderful. You get a whole bunch of crazy people not really, you know, there's no focus. Everyone's just throwing their own bit in, and it's a joyous thing, you know, to read everyone's contributions, however stupid and kind of whatever. But I mean, I think the main message is that people will always hit you in different directions, and you need to try and plant yourself in a place where you're not depending on that. You're depending on yourself and your own energy. And I find that if I stay creative, if I stay connected, I mean, I'm living at home, so if I stay in the family, at least connected to the family, connected to the people who just make me, like, my family sees me as Jacob, right? They don't see me as Jacob Collier. So that's important, just to have people in your life that are going to see you straight on. You're another human being. You're not like some superstar. I dig it. I dig that a lot, and it's dead important, because without that, you just lose you just go in the ether, and you get lost. So yeah, you need to try and plant yourself down on the ground, I guess. That's really hard, but you know, yeah, go for it. All right, one last question. Yes, sir.
How important is Take 6?
Oh, yeah, man. I'm glad you asked that. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anybody better, and I can't. Yeah, Take 6 are completely epic and awesome. I discovered them when I was about 16 years old, 15, 16 years old. And I just couldn't believe it. The harmony is unreal. The spirituality is cool. The whole vibe is great, and they're such positive people in real life as well. And you see them live, and there's this energy, and it's just fab. So absolutely yes.
Have you transcribed a lot of their albums?
I did once for fun. I did one track for fun. I think the better way to transcribe is to listen and engage your listening rather than write. Because I'm not very good at reading music. I can kind of barely read something that's like put in front of me. I'd have to sit down or have written it to know how to sing it. So transcribing it would be great, and a great exercise for my writing. But for your ears, when you listen to music, you should just be engaged in the things that you're hearing and try and think about why they make you feel emotional things. Because the whole of harmony and music should be connected to your emotions, so that when you navigate through harmony or you're listening, you navigate through how it makes you feel rather than what you know it is. And that's a better way around. But Take 6 have got the whole package. They've got the harmony, they've got the vibe, they've got the good songs and the great voices, everything. Yeah, nice one. Cool. Thanks so much, everyone, for coming. It's really like the most wonderful situation, this. Everyone's kind of super engaged and listening and questioning, and it's fab. So thanks so much for coming. It's great to be here.